Here to talk about this more is Victoria Manning. She is an investigative reporter with Restoration News, and she writes on big education, the culture war, and much, much more. And she's recently wrote this article, America's Enemies Infiltrate Public Education Institutions to Brainwash Children with Anti-American, Anti-Capitalist Propaganda. Well, I guess CTU proved that right. Victoria, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Jeannie and Amy, great to be with you.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew about this gathering of AWON at the CTU headquarters, but I think it's very concerning. I think it's also very telling at the same time.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I think that's the same teachers union that pushed for all students to go and be activists on May Day rather than being in the classroom learning. And we're seeing this from teachers unions across the nation. And, you know, extremists from both within our nation and outside of our nation are trying to influence our nation's children to sway the direction of the country. Are we going to get back on a path to free market capitalism, or are we going to go down that path of socialism that the Democrats, we've seen the Democrat socialists getting elected across this nation. And I think that is the desire of these leftists, is they target our kids, because they're the future of what's going to happen to our nation.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So in this article, you talk about extremism within, and you note that the Zen Education Project is embedded in many schools across the nation. And this map that actually shows where their curriculum is shows that their curriculum's in 3,885 schools in the state of Illinois alone. And of course, Zen is teaching, lessons like climate disobedience, instructs students how to use civil disobedience to stop the flow of oil. Like, we can't have this in our classrooms and think that we're going to continue to be a free market economy.
Absolutely. So Howard Zinn was an avowed Marxist, and he's written curriculum for schools, specifically history curriculum, that is being used in school districts across our nation. As you saw on that map that I had with my article, it's pushing a very dangerous view of our nation and the social justice activism. It's not teaching children how to think. It's teaching them what to think from a Marxist communist perspective. It's very concerning, and they sneak this curriculum in. A lot of curriculum right now is being delivered via Chromebooks online. It's not like kids are bringing home textbooks anymore that parents can actually read and understand what their kids are learning in the classroom. So this is something I'm passionate about, because we don't have meaningful school choice laws in our nation. Many parents don't have a choice of where they're going to send their kids to be educated. Right. And their heads are being filled with propaganda rather than academics. And we've got to sound the alarm on this.
Yeah, but Victoria, what can parents do at home to build resilience against these extremist recruitments, whether it's online or in the classroom by your teachers?
Yeah, they've got to show up to school board meetings, first of all. They've got to, in most cases, the elected school board members are the ones that approve and select the curriculum that's being taught in the classrooms. So you can hold your elected officials accountable. In many states, curriculum has to be made available to parents. It's a lot of work, but it's important work that parents need to do. They've got to demand to know what is being taught in those classrooms.
Well, I think part of the problem, too, is that you've got, teachers coming out of woke universities, and they're continuing that sort of education down to the lower level. And it's very, very difficult for people to even understand. Even if you look at the curriculum, you don't know what the teacher is saying inside that classroom. And so I don't know. It's school choice has got to be the only way to get around this.
You're absolutely right. Parents need an option. We need meaningful school choice reform with taxpayer dollars following the child, not the classroom. Until our public schools have competition, they're not going to have any incentive to get better. Right now, the more a school is a failure, the more they get rewarded with more funding. So we've got to change that model. We've got to have meaningful education reform that includes school choice initiatives.
You've got lobbyists that have to register if they are working for a foreign agent. Why don't we have the same sort of thing when it comes to curriculum? Because in your report here, which is very good, again, you guys can go to restorationnews.com. You can read about this yourself. But you note that Qatar is a leading supporter of the Muslim Brotherhood. And yet they have, the Foundation for Defense of Democracy have found that the Qatar Foundation International has spent more than $65 million on teacher training and curricula for social studies in Arabic language classrooms. I mean, this is a curricula that promotes Islamic religious values and practices and pushes anti-American and anti-Israel propaganda. And this is concerning because although it has not passed, it passed the House, it did not pass the Illinois Senate, but there's a bill that would require Arab American history to be taught, for whatever that means.
Yeah, and this, you mentioned that our colleges are instructing teachers on this far left propaganda, and you're spot on. That is one of the big issues. And there aren't many. The legacy media is not going to be reporting what you and I are talking about right now. And that's something that we at Restoration News are passionate about. We are going to expose things that the legacy media is not. And so we've got to keep shining light on this and highlighting the great work that conservative organizations are doing to expose it.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your investigative reporting. We appreciate you. Victoria Manning with Restoration News. Go to restorationnews.com to read the news that you won't read in the Chicago Tribune, for example. Victoria, thanks so much for spending some time with us this morning and talking about this important issue.
Thank you so much. Take care.